Hello and welcome to another episode, it's been a while, of Witches and Wine. This is the show where we talk about witchy stuff and we drink wine. Clink and drink. Ooh, that was a nice sound. Oh, you guzzled that down.
Well, that was the previous wine. I was tonight's wine.
Yes. It's been a while since we've been on. There's been a lot going on, and we're going to talk about all those things. But before we start talking... Oh, by the way, if nobody knows who I am, I'm your hostess with the mostest, Lola Stardust. I look really tired.
Kind of,
What
you are.
What if I just did the whole show like this?
It'd be a little too up close and personal.
Hi. So before we get started with our show... Oh, you know what? I got to do this. Yeah. I got to do this to keep us... There we go. So before we start with our show, I'm going to turn it over to my partner in crime, Silent as Stardust, and he's going to talk about the wine we're drinking tonight.
Hi, guys. As Lola said, long time no see. We miss you guys. We're hoping to get this back more on the regular again. Tonight, I chose a Valpolicella, which is an Italian wine. I chose a Magnum bottle because, well, me and Lola want to drink a bunch of wine tonight.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
It's a good value, nice flavored wine. It's a Verona. They say the front name is Vecchia Verona. And it's a Veronese wine, which means it's from the Verona region. Valpolicellas are nice, big fruited wines. Very approachable, low tannin, smooth. You typically big cherry notes. This one has a little bit of raspberry notes with it.
Yeah, it does. That's what the taste is. It's raspberry-ish.
Yep,
I like it.
It's raspberry and a slight dryness, like a good Italian will give you. This Magnum bottle.
Most Italians I've talked to are not very dry.
The wine, not the people.
Put that over there. It's a 2016, I see.
2016. A 750 milliliter bottle of this run you between $8.99 and $12.99. This Magnum bottle was right around $21. Really enjoyable, very smooth. Like I said, a nice, easy, approachable, everyday food wine.
Super good. I like it.
Excellent.
Clink and drink to some good wine tonight. All right. So it's so good to be able to do this again. We've had a lot going on.
A lot of life.
Oh my God. I mean, I know the last time I saw you guys or talked to you guys, I was having neck problems, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, we had pains. We were passing pains back and forth to each other. Just so much going on. But what the recent thing that's been going on has influenced our topic today. We want to talk about when our mundane muggle life really acts up. So when there is sickness and death and pains and
When
life just goes bleh.
Yep.
I know, and I don't think I'm the only one, and that's why I wanted to talk about this. And if you want to leave comments and say, I totally agree with you, or no.
Even share personal experiences.
Share personal experiences, yeah. I find that it's almost like I forget I'm a witch. And I have the ability to get through things if I would use my power. And so my big thing is, I wonder why
because we revert back to our younger primal state in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Especially with what's going on with you, which we'll get to. It brings you back to a child fear, in a sense.
Yeah.
With you dealing with these things, it's reverting you back to you taking care of your dad taking care of you.
Well, I also think a lot of it is time.
Yeah.
I just don't make the time to do that magic, and that needs to be a part of my self-care regimen, because it is self-care, and I need to do it on myself with my healing skills that I've learned, and reach out to others in the witchy community and say, can you do some Reiki on my dad? So basically my dad had a mini stroke about almost 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago today.
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow.
Well.
Yeah, whatever. We were there when, anyways, we were there when it happened. It was traumatic. They're called TIAs. He's had 3 in the last 5-6 years. So the recovery time is taking longer, and his memory is shot, his short-term memory. And then unrelated to this, he's got major lower back problems, and I have an elderly mom who has a hard time getting around the house. So me and my brother and sister have kind of pulled together, and Phil, Phil, whatever, you know who he is. This guy over here have pulled together and been helping out a lot. At this point, because I live 5 minutes away, we live 5 minutes away, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm the one that's doing a lot of it, and so it became overwhelming. It still is. It's still happening. This hasn't gone away yet. It became overwhelming. There was depression, anger, overwhelmingness. I mean, you were
scared.
I was scared. Crying every day, and I wasn't taking care of myself, and so that was the big thing. And so that was one thing, is the self-care, which is a huge thing in our crafts that we learn. Well, everybody should know about self-care or practice it. But we really push it in Wicca because we have the ability to do the self-care, and it's important to honor ourselves. So I just wasn't doing it. I just recently started just little things. Listening to music. That has been a lifesaver for me. I love music, and for some reason, when I'm like, stuff is going on, I forget about music, which is unheard of. What are some things that help you get through life?
Reading.
Yeah.
I do a lot of reading. It's a way for me to kind of step out and put my mindset with whatever I am reading at that time.
Yeah.
I can kind of separate everything else and get lost in a book or a really good article or... So those ones, and sometimes as simple as mindless television.
That's what we've been doing. I mean, really watch. I've been binge watching Beverly Hills 90210 because, okay, so I'm 47. So when the show came out in 1990, I was graduating. I graduated from high school. I entered a decade of debauchery and bad decisions. I partied like a rock star. I wasn't home watching Beverly Hills 90210, so...
I was at this time
he's 7 years younger.
Yeah,
so.
This was the show to be watching back in the early 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I knew about it, you know.
Well, no, but I was in that preteen, going into teenage years, so I watched the first couple seasons and watched it pretty religiously.
So I decided a while ago to just... I need to have some... I know the pop culture references, but I need to see this, and so I've been watching it on on Hulu. It is so mindless and so stupid. It actually works. It takes my mind off of things. Also, we got Amazon Prime, so the Marvelous Miss Maisel, which Mrs. Maisel, which everyone. I'm late on the train.
We're just catching up, and oh my goodness,
we love it.
Oh my goodness, we have missed. We need to be watching this.
So funny, yeah. It's so funny and funny TV and movies that you don't have to do a lot of thinking. But even for me, if anyone knows me, I enjoy a good scary movie. That also takes my mind off it. We finally saw Hereditary. Oh my God.
People of the Craft. That's going to be an interesting take for any of you guys who haven't seen it and you guys like scary movies.
It's so fucking creepy. Excuse my language. Creepy as an F.
Yeah, creepy AF for
I
sure.
don't get creeped out much. It's hard to scare me. This movie had everything I loved.
And there's some serious what the WTF moments and... what?
So anyway, so those are things that we do, music, and then I have access. We have access to healing.
A large healing community.
A large healing. Seriously, this is...
Glass number 14.
Shut up. Hey, we have to be good. We don't want to...
Okay, really, it's glass number 1 for her. This is my second for me.
Yes, I am not intoxicated. The problem is when I'm sober, I appear to be intoxicated. So, clink and drink. Let's fix that.
We have a little camera personality going on too.
It's really not that much different.
No.
I'm like, It's really not.
Just records on this time.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a lot of raspberry on these.
It's super good, yeah. So, the access that we have to a large healing community and our own healing skills.
Yep, we have our own abilities that we forget to use on ourselves.
Yeah, and on others. So I finally used some plant therapy oil on my dad's back, and then we used some CBD oil, and then now my next thing is I'd like to reach out to some of my coven members who do excellent Reiki. They're open to, my parents are open to it. I'm gonna see if we can do that. I'm not Reiki, but I have done energy work. I'm trying to envision my dad, because my dad's memory is shot, and it's very sad to see that. I'd like to just do some energy work on him. So I'm like, why didn't I think of this before? But I was so close to the situation, and just, and
what about some third eye chakra work?
Yeah, I want to get all in here, and then of course lower back, and but it just blows my mind. And maybe there's probably witches out there watching this going, well, that's when I turn to my craft, is when, and you're supposed to, but I have a really bad habit of where I get so sucked into the moment, and I can't think outside of the trauma that's happening, and so I'm in it, and I have a hard time going, okay, wait a minute, I've got resources. So I just know a lot of us do that, and we like to go hibernate too when we're, and it's this freaking time of year, okay? It's September.
It's our favorite time of year.
It's our favorite time of year, but it is always the toughest time of year. This is the dark time of the year. And if you follow the myth of Persephone, this is the time where she descends into the underworld. And Persephone is us. We descend into the underworld. We descend to that place that's dark and not always happy, but it's time of rest, it's time of introspection. So obviously I'm aware of this time.
Well, and it's also a massive fitting of the veil.
Yeah.
We're feeling the veil come crashing down to get to its thinnest point here in the next couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. For a month from now, for then it to turn right back around and replenish itself.
Yes, and this is, it's symbolic with everything, and everything that's happening, the idea of mortality and death, but death is renewal, and I have to always think of that even in this time, the symbolic death that we're going through, we're going to come out on the other end, and but you have to go through that path, through that dark forest. You can't stop and stay there. It's a nice place to visit, but you don't want to.
Yeah, you can't chase it, but you can't fear it either.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to find the balance with.
Yeah, and it was weird because today I talked to my dad's one of his nurses, his doctor's nurse, about his pain in his back, and he's been not moving it enough, and they want him to move, and he's in pain, and she had said, and I forgot to tell you about this. Yeah. You're going to hear now. I'll give the short version. I'll tell you the long version. But me and the nurse were talking, and my instinct was right. My dad found a back brace at the house, and he's been wearing it. And I kept telling him, "You're not moving the muscles. You need to be moving it." The doctor even said, movement for this kind of pain. And that back brace keeps everything settled. And I said, I think you're making it worse, but my dad's not going to listen to me. So I called the nurse, and she was like, "You're absolutely right." And she said, and it's going to hurt. He's going to hurt, but he has to go through the pain to get to the other side. And so when she was telling me that, and then I was telling my dad, I was thinking of shadow work and the darkness, and we have to go through it. And I was telling my dad this, and it was, and this is when it started clicking about the knowledge that I have as a witch and a healer, and also, a spiritualness. It really helped me explain it to my dad in a way that was, gave me hope. It's like, you're going to come out of this, Dad, but you have to move a little. You have to get up from that couch or that chair, and it hurts. You can see the pain on his face. And it's like, and I'm helping him, and today it was like, work through it, just get through it. And he was, and it was very, I was like, oh God, but I'm not going to beat myself up and say, why wasn't I doing this days ago? I had to come to this.
Your light had to turn on.
My light turned on, and I'm like, I've got access to knowledge, and, so I think that we, as witches, some of us, we forget that, and it's really annoying.
Well, we
for me, it annoys the hell out of me.
A lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for what the powers and the abilities we have.
Yeah.
And the other part is we don't want to feel like that we're bothering other people because everyone has life going on. We all got issues.
Everyone I know right now is going through something.
Yeah, there is something that we're all dealing with.
And I don't want to make like my problem is more deserves more attention. But here's the thing: is we have to honor that. We have to honor that what we're going through right now is real, and it doesn't matter if it's a family member, a pet that's sick, a job change.
Yeah,
it's whatever it is. Yeah. Just whatever it is. It's important that we honor that and say this is real to me. This hurts. Honor it and don't feel like I don't want to bother anyone with this, because you are taking away your power over it. And when you can acknowledge it and say, yeah, what I feel, it's scary as hell, and I'm feeling it, and it hurts, but you know what? I've owned it. Now let's go. Let's just go through it, and it's gonna suck, and it is. Lately, it's been unbearable for me. But I think once the light clicked on in the last few days, and having these conversations with my dad about alternative healing methods, and not because of course they're throwing hydrocodones at him, and I'm like, no,
no opiates,
and my dad agrees. He's like, I don't want to take these, and so
he reached out to talk to us about cannabis.
Yeah, which he never has, but he's like, what do you have at your house? Do you have any? I know you guys have pot at your house. We're in Washington State, so it's legal. Yeah. So the fact that my dad's reaching out to that is, there's my son in the background, is a huge deal. Huh?
This is the charge.
Okay, well, that's okay, honey. Just put it on the couch.
You can put it right here.
But it needs a charge.
Well,
there you go. You can set it up there and charge it.
Charge it. Sorry. Life happens. All right, you realize we're recording, honey.
Yeah.
Should I pause this? We're going to take a 5-minute or a 5-second commercial break about hemorrhoid medicine. Why? Hemorrhoid cream. It burns. Look at it. We're back. So,
did it burn for you too?
I don't know why I thought I had hemorrhoids. I do not have hemorrhoids. Oh my God, if I had hemorrhoids during this time of everything, I would just be like, okay, you know what? What are you trying to tell me, universe?
We'll be like the Jerky Boys and beat him off with a stick.
Anyway, I completely forgot what we were talking about beforehand. Working through the pain.
Your dad reaching out about cannabis.
Yes, and so it was very, God, I'm so tired. And anyway,
conversation.
I'm sorry, I just don't sleep anymore, and I'm just drained right now. So, yeah, so I think it was meant to happen this way to be able to have an open conversation with my dad about alternative healing methods, which witches are all about. We're not saying Western medicine is not needed, but there are certain things where alternative medicine, Eastern medicine.
I'm tired of calling it alternative, original medicine.
Original medicine, yes.
Because this is how we healed before pharmaceuticals came about. So this is original medicine. Yeah.
So the knowledge that we have as witches, the magic that we can work, because I'm sure, and I have to be, somewhat, what's the word? I think I had a stroke. Slower. I'm not going to just go to my dad's and have like the whole coven show up and put our hands on. I mean, we don't want to freak him out, but introduce him into baby steps. Yes, into a different way of.
Bob.
What about Bob?
Yeah, he'll tell you all about baby steps.
So, what are some things that you think that you could do magically, craft-wise, that could get you through the stress that we're going through?
Remembering to meditate.
Oh my God, yes.
So something that it just takes 5 or 10 minutes every couple days, or if you can do it every day. just do a little meditation. And I'm horrible about it. I love to meditate.
I'm the worst.
We have a very active life where we have constantly things going on, so it's hard for us to take 5 or 10 minutes, but it's not. But we make excuses why we can't.
I know.
We can turn off the TV between episodes before we pick it back up and start the next episode.
And do a little meditation.
Yeah, and so that's something. Writing is something I need to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
Coloring.
Color therapy.
Yeah, color therapy. Just little things. Less screen time.
Oh my God.
Whether it's computer, phone, TV, all of it.
Yeah, we did something different last night when he got from home.
Yeah, I got from home on work.
When he got home from work, we didn't have the TV on. We didn't look to our phones. We actually just sat and had a conversation.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 hours worth.
Yeah, it was
after
nice.
Just hanging out, no music,
really
nothing,
nice.
just us talking.
Yeah. So I mean, these little things that we preach in the craft and just in life. If you don't even have to be Wiccan or of this belief that we have. It's just human nature to take time out, and focus on what relaxes you, what makes you happy. Because, I'm being a caretaker now for my family, for my mom and dad. And I'm exhausted. I can't take care of someone if I'm not taking care of
Taking care of yourself.
Why don't you talk for a little bit?
So what she's trying to...
When I ask you to talk, that's sad.
When she's talking like Silenus, you know that it's bad.
I'm really tired.
So what she's saying is that we need to remember to take care of ourselves.
That's our dog.
And we're allowed to treat ourselves. We're allowed to care for ourselves. Because if we can't care if you're not caring for yourself, you're not caring for others.
Yeah, you have nothing to give.
Yep.
And my mom's going through that too. She's, oh my God, now I'm gonna sneeze. She's she's 79 years old.
She's overdoing it.
She's overdoing it.
And she refuses to accept help, but in many ways, that's all of us.
Yeah.
You don't want to ask for help because we have a lot of us have trouble showing that we need help.
Vulnerable.
That we do rely upon others for things, and it's okay because not everyone can do everything, and that's why you need others.
Yeah.
And that can be others in person. It can be goddess. It can be deity. It can be.
I'm gonna go blow my nose. You can keep talking.
It can be your coven. It can be your community at large. It can be anything that allows you to focus some of your energy to make better for you, for others. But never forgetting that you're number one. And yes, I'm number one, but you're going number 2. I'm not. She's not. She's blowing her nose, but it was still funny because she went in the restroom. But each of us are number one. And we need to constantly remind ourselves that treating ourselves, wanting something, going for something, it's okay. Now, you can't forget others in the process of you going and taking care of yourself, but don't forget yourself.
So, yeah. Hello, I like that smooth transition. So anyway.
Speaking of number one.
I was blowing my nose. I have allergies. I forgot to take my allergy pill. See, look at just all this stuff. I forgot to take my antidepressant. Speaking of Western medicine.
Yep.
I got a hair in my mouth.
That's not Western.
No. Oh my God. I'm sorry I'm frazzled. This is an episode that it's just frazzled and we're really, just, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But look at the time.
Yep. So, we're going to go ahead and say goodnight for the evening.
Remember, if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to suggest, we are open to suggestion. Then you can email us at
crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
What was that?
crossroadscoven@gmail.com.
So remember to always walk with the goddess, be kind to one another, and until next time, blessed be and clink and drink. This is a show about wine, so there will be drinking.
Don't judge us. We freely name witches and wine.
It's witches and wine. It happens.
Till next time, guys. Later.
Nighty night.